Oh, hello, and we're live, I think. And as usual, the back end of the the back end of the Mercury retrograde is still hitting me. I always have a bad time. I think it's because I'm a Gemini, but anything to do with communications always hits me really bad. Coincidentally, when there's a Mercury retrograde. But hey, tell me I'm wrong. That'll be good. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm talking rubbish. I really don't think I am. Anyway, happy days. Welcome to the monthly Mystical Live. I don't know how long it's been actually since we last did one. It's been a little while. It's not been a month. It's been a bit longer than a month. Anyway, it's lovely to not see you all. We're back again, and we've got a very interesting topic tonight. I'm not quite sure how it's going, so I'm very excited to let it just pan out, to be honest. So, without further ado, before we do the further ado bits, I just want to plug a bit of my stuff. So, Magic Toolbox UK is a website for any of your magical tools. We sell all sorts of magical tools. If you've got anything that you want making that we don't have on the website, please do email us, etc., and we can sort that out. What else have I got? So we've also got our magical learning lab. It's been going really well now. We've had it going for a couple of months now. There's huge amounts of information on there already. I post at least every other day, so there's a huge amount of topics on there already, and we're building up. At the minute, we've been doing a lot on the tarot and also a bit on talismans. We're just starting to get into a bit of that as well. So if you're interested in that, it's £3 a month. It's absolutely nothing. So if you're interested in that, give us a little bell, and I'll sort you out with that one. Without further ado, let's get on. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Steve Mitchell and Alistair. Is it Hindmarsh or Hindmarsh? I'm not sure, but it's one of those two. And let's welcome to the stage those two. Here we go. Add to the stage.
You're as bad as me. You're as bad as me. I've known Al for nigh on 40 years, and I still call him Hindmarsh. Still get it wrong.
Is it Hind?
It's Hindmarsh.
Oh, it's Hindmarsh.
You see, I get it all muddled. Even when I'm doing it right, I'm doing it wrong. That's how it goes. So,
okay then. This evening's talk. So I just literally texted you the other day. I thought, well, this looks interesting. I wonder what that's about. And I haven't really heard anything more since then. You gave us a quick title, which I put on the Facebook thing. But yeah, so I'm just going to let you go ahead and just tell us what it's all about then.
Well, hopefully you can kind of dive in and help us out and throw some ideas as well, because we're always after ideas. And I've been on here and chatted to you before, Jackie, and we've talked about kind of the way we've been doing stuff before. So it's, as ever, it's a follow-up. So for those who haven't caught up with our previous chats, Al and I have known each other over 40 years now. That's a long time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And more recently, we've been working together on sacred sites. We've been looking at sacred sites local to us specifically, and a kind of sacred complex around the bottom end of Derbyshire and the River Dove. And we've kind of found some really, really exciting stuff and started joining some dots together. But one of our kind of main leanings is really why are sites sacred? What is special about them? Why do we get drawn to a specific site as opposed to anywhere else? What draws us into them? And more importantly, why do we then feel inclined to build a sacred structure on top or and enhance the site in various ways? And we've talked all about kind of mounds and churches and stone circles and things as part of those sites for a while now. And so we came up with some theories, which we'll go into a second. I'll throw over to Al, the scientist, in a second. But we've been running experiments for several years now with people. And we've been kind of looking to recreate the sacred sites in various ways and seeing what the human component is and how people react. And I don't know if you remember last time I was on, I did a really simple thing, and everyone can try this at home as well. You can try it just now, just to reiterate. If we put our hands about a couple of feet apart like this, and everyone can try this at home, and then you move your hands in together. And the question is, without using the E word, what I want you to describe is how it feels, how it senses to you. Does that make sense? So what is the sensation going on in your hands? And that's quite important. And where as well? Is it kind of a long way away? Is it close up? And what are you kind of getting?
Well, mine's always heat as I get closer together.
So you feel heat. Some people feel a bit of a tingle. What do you feel, Al, when you do it?
I feel a kind of warm pressure.
Warm pressure. So that's another thing. And what we kind of figured out with was really in all of these initial experiments was that we're essentially sensing what people, they call it energy, they call it the aura, whatever. But at the end of the day, when we come to a really kind of scientific basis, we are talking about electricity at the end of the day. And we kind of came to the conclusion that a lot of other people are coming to at the moment, that we're living in an electric universe, electromagnetic universe, so hence the pressure, hence the buzzing, hence the tingling, hence the heat and all that sort of thing. And we thought, you know, this is, if you like, is the basis of dowsing. Dowsing, essentially, we're sensing something, except what we do with dowsing normally, we'll use either a pendulum or we use some rods to accentuate that feeling, to kind of project it outwards. We don't really need them, in all honesty. They're good if you want to do some quite accurate reading, and they're good when you're starting off. You did an ace thing up at the castle, didn't you, with dowsing, Al?
Yes. God, you surprised me there. I'm not going to get a cue or something like that. Would you like some?
No,
yeah.
no.
What I did, I got a whole load of cheap thick wire, cut it into little L shapes, and we just handed them out to people and say, right, walk around the castle, like holding them loosely, see what happens. And the brilliant thing was, whenever they walked, there's only the foundations of a chapel there, and whenever people walk down into the chapel, 9 out of 10 people, they're instantly crossed at that point, and they go, what's going on? And places as well where it did that, and it was absolutely lovely to get the reactions of people who've never done dowsing before.
I love that. It's really exciting stuff when it all starts going mad. I love it.
We even had a control group because all the middle-aged blokes who didn't believe in this sort of rubbish didn't get any reactions at all. All like the closed-minded types. Nothing happened. Everyone else was open to it. The ones were going like crazy. It's very funny.
So we kind of have within the dowsing research group that I'm a part of and have been for a while, we have a kind of model, if you like, for dowsing. That essentially we are using this skill of being able to sense, which we have innately. It isn't something that you have to learn necessarily. It's more something you have to unlock, if that makes sense. It's there all the time. Yeah. It's there naturally. And it ties into the pineal gland, and that's the most important kind of bit on there. The pineal gland becomes our sense. And you remember last time we talked all about the pineal gland and all kinds of wonderful things, which we won't go into totally today. And essentially what we're doing is we're receiving, shall we say, going up there, going into the pineal, tying into there, and then we're kind of almost, reflecting that receiving by getting the pendulum or the rods to move. And if you notice, I said getting them to move. We don't have kind of little spirits or imps or some kind of crazy UFO guys jumping in going woo, 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 or people in green suits that we can't see. We are literally minuscule, muscular response making that happen. So we know the mechanism pretty much for what we're sensing, but what we didn't know really was what's going on in the sacred site that we go to. What's going on in that chapel? Why is that chapel built specifically where it is? And so I guess we kind of started to develop a little bit of model And Al's a geologist, which is really ace. And you came up with the kind of layers theory, I should say. Yeah?
Yeah. Do you want me to start going on about
I
electrical?
would, yeah, just briefly, because it's important.
Okay, so thing is, I did geophysics at university and after that as well. And basically, when I got into this sort of thing quite a few years ago, people were going on about all these forces that they could detect, and even mentioned the dreaded words ley lines and stuff like that. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, there is a force out there that courses through all of us, the planet, our bodies, every single second of every day, which is the electromagnetic forces of the Earth, caused by inside the Earth. You've got the outer core, which is liquid, and it moves in like basically Brownian motion, and it causes all the electromagnetic waves, which incidentally protect us from the solar winds. Otherwise, we'd all die, and it would be a barren planet. So it's quite a fascinating thing, anyway. But these are happening all the time. These electromagnetic forces, these waves passing through everything. I'm thinking, well, surely that's causing it. It's a nice, easy explanation for it. So how do we actually start detecting it? And then we started looking at the Dove Valley and Tutbury, which has a nice mound on the top of it, which is a hill caused by deposits from the glaciers when they swept down the valley. And then they've put an artificial mound on top of it as well. So the best way to get different forms of energy, different values of energy, I should say, from this electromagnetic flow is when you've got layers. So at the moment you've got a nice, not only Tutbury Mound has got a nice set of layers in it. Places like Silbury Hill, there was 3 different building phases at Silbury Hill, so it has definitely got at least 3 layers on it. So you're thinking, right, we must be able to pick up some sort of wonderful readings on this to show the electromagnetic flow going through it. So that's what we've been trying to do. And so we started going out there with dowsing and what have you. And we're thinking, no, hang on a minute, we need to narrow this down. We need to be able to approach this scientifically. So what we need to do now is have a benchmark and say we're going to use various machines and detectors, but we need to be able to say what is it we're actually finding. Lots of people, certain TV programs, shall we say, they'll walk into somewhere and have a little machine that lights up and go, oh, look, I found something, there's a ghost or whatever.
So before we go there, because we got a video about that, haven't we?
Yes,
Before we go there, one of the experiments, we decided it was all about layers. And I got you to do this last time. And we did a little experiment with layers of paper and layers of silver. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think I've still got it. Yeah.
And in fact, if you're watching this, just pause and go, oh, we did the toilet roll as well. You've got the toilet roll. Way.
I thought it might come in handy at some point.
I don't mind if I've got a piece of paper still stuck to it. So the concept idea is this, that you essentially do exactly the same thing that you did before, but this time what you're doing is seeing if there's any change. So that heat, that tingle, whatever you're feeling between your hands. And then you take a piece of silver paper and you do exactly the same thing. And then you layer the paper with the silver and you do the same thing. Now, what we found and what you found on here and what people will have found if they followed the previous one, and we can always put a link back to some of the early experiments. We've done them all over the place with people, out in fields, in village halls, at talks, at conferences, you name it. That people, the more you layer, the more people seem to sense this increase, shall we say, in either the heat or the tingliness or whatever. We've even been able to use layers to create some very exciting physical effects, which I'm not going to go into on here. But what it shows us is that what we think is going on is that the landscape is behaving a little bit like a capacitor. So what does a capacitor do, Al?
Right.
Because you tell me this every time.
It's a temporary storage of energy, okay? So it's not a battery. But if you think about it, if you have places with lots of layers, especially if it's hollow, you know, like the classic hollow hill, cave, whatever, if you've got the electromagnetic energy flowing through these layers into it, and then you get this big space, right? Or even take Silbury Hill, this big, thick, you know, area in it that the current's flowing round and through. Won't that store stuff? You know, even as a capacitor, not as a battery, so that it remains there, but it flows and it has a place where it gets far more energy, let's call it, especially when you look at places like Silbury Hill that flood. So there you go, you've got an electromagnetic flow, and then you've got water around it, which, as we know, creates a wonderful flow of low resistance. So where are we going with this, Steve?
Where are we going with this? Well, the point is, we've done loads of these experiments, haven't we, with people? And that's the thing. We've done the human experiment. We've done layers. We've done sensing from each other. We've done things where we stand across a room, so we get like, 50 feet apart. Can we still sense it? We've gone into the quantum kind of part of it. All kinds of stuff. But what we really, really, really wanted to know was, can we scientifically, can we measure, can we take a device like this, and you've got one, Jackie, you should at this moment have gone, me too! Ta-da! Timu! Hey. Can we take a device and actually prove or show what's going on? Okay, so we started doing this, and Al and I have spent a few happy sessions together in his kitchen and in his conservatory, trying things out. So I'm going to show you what happened even before we started, because this now starts to, in itself, become really interesting. And this is where we might be pissing off the ghost hunters. So let's see if I can queue up. How do we queue this video?
I'm not sure. Shall I just stick it on? Is it the first one?
Yeah, stick on the first one.
Okay, let's give it a go.
Very short.
Paper is reacting.
No. Maybe we should.
What are they reacting to?
Why isn't it going? Oh, there we are. Maybe we should mute ourselves.
Right, so we need. Right, they've stopped doing it. Okay, so we're getting a reaction off that.
So silver paper is reacting.
No, they're reacting anyway. What are they reacting to?
So I'm going to pause for a second because we were getting excited. Bear in mind, we've literally got those things out. We've got some paper. We've created some layers, as we've just done. We were pointing these devices, these EMF readers, and they're going like crazy, like absolute clockwork. We're like, we've only just started and we're getting, results. We could be, publishing these tomorrow and getting on to BBC morning programme and talking, you know what I mean? So anyway, just watch.
Right, so we need, they've stopped doing anything now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hang on a minute, were you close to it with your phone?
Yeah, because I'm filming.
Yeah, well, that's going to trigger them.
So
what that was actually supposed to show there was, as you can see, they're going like crazy, but it's because we're next to them. The moment I got Steve to stand back and I stood back with the pieces of paper still in front of them, they all went to zero. They all stopped working.
Do you want to minimize the film for a second? Jackie, there we go. So we've got our little devices here, not picking up anything. The room's empty. The room's devoid. I'm just switching on my phone and I'm going into record mode. So we're going to video what's going on. Okay. And basically, what we were finding, and do you know, this is the wonderful thing, the second you try and repeat an experiment, it never repeats. Right, so I'll describe what we were finding was that if I was standing nearby with my mobile phone, which I had at the time recording, we were getting peaks and troughs and it was going crazy. If I stepped away and recorded from, 6, 8, 10 feet away, everything went away again. Have you got it going there, Al?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, what we found was, by the way, when you buy these wonderful, amazing things, some of them are better than others, even though they all come in the same black box. Some of them are more sensitive than others. Some of them work better than others. Some of them get results. So, if you've got one of these things, try it on your phone. What it shows us, which is quite scary, is two things. One of the things is that any device that we use to record, whether it's video, whether it's audio or whatever, tends to be working on the old EMF field already. So it's straight away triggering off these devices. So if you're going into a so-called haunted house and you're going, oh, look, it's beeping and it's making some crazy noises, it's haunted. It ain't. It's your camera that's doing it. So that's really important to know. You notice a lot of these programs, they set up cameras in every room and they connect them. How do they connect them together? Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all this EMF stuff. So you've got it flowing around the house like crazy. And of course, as Al said the other day to me, what happens when you say, oh, look, it's going peak, it's going good. You move in with your camera, don't you, to have a look so you can get some good stuff. And it goes even more crazy. And this is the problem. One of the first things is the second you start recording, the second you start using equipment, that equipment in itself sets stuff off. Okay, so I'm going to show you another video now. I'm going to take that one out of the studio, give another one into the studio. If you can queue up number 2.
I'll do the second one not so long, and then I'll mute myself.
Switch on the sensitive one. See if that's doing. Excellent. Got 0 off it.
Right.
Alright, that's the low. See, at the moment I move close to it, it's reacting to me.
It's reacting to you.
I am naturally magnetic, it has to be said. Nice and short, that one.
That's short. They're all short. We'd taken about an hour or so's worth of footage, and we had some breaks as well in between there. So we probably were working on this particular kind of set for about 2 hours. The important thing in there really is that Al, in the experiment, if he even walks in towards the meters, he is setting those off. Okay, it's not because a ghost has landed or a UFO is hovering outside, beaming down, ET or whatever, phoning home. Al is Mr. Magnetism. We've always said he's got a magnetic personality.
Absolutely. So,
you want to see that one again, just to prove the point?
Yeah.
Let's switch on the sensitive one. See if that's doing. Excellent. Got 0 off it.
Right.
Alright, that's the low. See, at the moment I move close to it, it's reacting to me.
It's reacting to
I
you.
am naturally magnetic, it has to be said.
There you go. You can minimise that if you want to.
Switch on the sensitive. Do you want to actually see the instruments we're using?
Yeah.
Because we've got quite a horde of them out there, as you can see.
So we've got these that I think a lot of people have. Just basic.
Yeah.
So that's.
And what's that?
That's an EMF meter. So that's. Just
not
teaming. No, unlike these. Oh, shush. You see that's reacting there because it's next to my phone and it's next to the monitor screen. So you could hear it beeping there. It was flashing into the red.
Yeah.
Then we've got 2 EMF meters. This particular one we found to be our most accurate one.
Okay.
As you can see.
Maybe get a link in the description for that. Very
So
cool.
that's 0 to 3 milligauss. And as you can see, at the moment I get close to any monitor, it's definitely registering right up the top.
Mm.
The thing to note there is it's very small measurements, even with some strong stuff, even with a television, even with a speaker. You don't get massive big measurements. Does that make sense as well?
Yeah, yeah.
We have our second one.
That's high.
See it's registering a bit.
Yeah.
And that's got a very annoying squeak on it.
Oh, yeah.
So what we were finding is, in certain instances, even holding the device made the device go off, even having it in our hand. So we had to set up a set of protocols from the get-go, whereby our device was next to where we were measuring, but we had to stand back, if you like, 6-10 feet. Now, at the time we were running on, let's just film it with, it was a bit of a test run. Let's film it on the camera. On the phone, and like I say, the phone was kicking it off as well. Al's kicking it off, I'm kicking it off. So we're trying to get, if you like, what we call a baseline, and those baselines were just very hard to even get in the first place. Al, have you got the mini pheromone there? So this doesn't look like, but we built this from a kit. Okay, it's commonly called a REM pod. Have you come across REM pods?
No.
What you find is that, again, all of these haunted programs, they put the REM pod on the table, it'll be going like absolutely crazy. Do you want to switch it on and show how crazy it can go? And of course, instantly they're used to monitor the spirit activity. What's it monitoring? There you go, you can see straight away. It's monitoring basically other monitors. It's picking up stuff from microphones, from speakers. It's picking up stuff from there. And I remember one particular program, they had it sitting next to one of these plasma balls, and they were amazed at how much it was kicking off. Wow, the plasma ball must be haunted. No, the plasma ball's picking up EMF, and it's an EMF reader. That's essentially what it is. These, by the way, if you get them with 2 little aerials, you can play music with them. And that's where you'll be familiar with them. But people have converted them and told everyone that they are ghost hunting equipment. And that therefore, as soon as it flash, you've got a spirit going on, and you can get your box out that's plays pre-recorded little samples that glue together and tell them that that's the spirit talking. Do you know what I mean? So what we're quite against really is we want to show stuff is going on. We want to be able to scientifically show, but equally well, we have to say that the so-called science, the so-called stuff that, is being promoted at the moment, actually doesn't show anything's going on. It just shows that the MF is going crazy because of all the equipment they've got with them, because they're in the room, because of everything. Does that make sense? And this is why we say we're going to piss off the ghost hunters, because they make all their money, or not, I don't know, out of, promoting this stuff. They'll take people around haunted houses and say, look, the EMF's going, it must be crazy, it must be ghosts and all that sort of thing. And they're taking out, or they're putting in so much added information that's completely and absolutely wrong on top of essentially something that is measuring literally electromagnetic flow. Now, for us, that's interesting, because the question is that electromagnetic flow affecting us? Are we affecting the electromagnetic flow? Are we part of that process, which is kind of where we ended up heading? So we did a whole load of experiments in Al's kitchen. We tried to create essentially a baseline. And essentially, where did we end up, Al?
Well, we ended up, quite interestingly, that if you stood well back and just let all the devices just sit there, the more sensitive ones, i.e., sort of thing, that would actually register very, very small amounts, like the micro 0 to 3 milliamps. So there was a little flickering between 1 to 3 milligauss. So there's definitely, that was the background we were aiming for.
Okay.
Are we going to tell them the terrible news about the
Say again?
terrible news about the conservatory?
Oh, we'll come to the conservatory in a minute. I've got 2 more videos to show first. So can we queue up number 20, please? As you can gather, what I took is, like I say, an hour's worth of work, and we kind of scrumbled it down to about...
I don't know what number 20 is, but I'm putting up the one that was next.
Yeah,
Is this it?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Something funny just happened with my thing.
Willing it not to go back to 0.
Willing it not to go back to 0. It's not.
What level is that peaking at?
That's end of the scale. That's the needle.
What were you doing? Oh.
We're both muted, so I think it's your microphone, Jackie. So if you mute yourself again, I'm just going to play that once more and then talk about it briefly.
Okay.
Willing it not to go back to 0. And it's not. You hear that? That's gone right back up again.
What level is that peaking at?
That's end of the scale. That's the needle.
Okie dokie. So as you can see on there, or you might not be able to see, we've got layers of silver paper. We've got layers of paper. We've also got a couple of crystals on there, some multifaceted crystals, and we've got something called orgonite on top of there, which is essentially resin that's got layers of metal running through it. Basically stacking and packing everything we can at it, and trying to see if, you know, if we can get some fluctuation. And I guess what we were kind of feeling was 2 things. First of all, we were getting a kind of pulsing thing going on in a number of these things. It kind of went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, a bit like a sine wave. And also we were feeling that as part of the experiment, that we were almost overpowering the experiment, that we were kind of impacting on it and affecting it and overpowering it. But what we really wanted to know was it going to act like a capacitor, and could we charge it up somehow? So Al, we just went round trying to find, that's the organ, by the way, as you can see, it's got lots of kind of stuff. You want to show it again? Yeah, it's got lots of stuff in there. It's a resin.
It's basically a resin with some little metal flake in the bottom, and then this basically copper wire wound round something in the middle.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the best that Timo can provide.
Timo, $1.99 or $2.99, depending whether you've got Al on your side. The orgonite theory comes way back. If anyone's into Wilhelm Reich, just go and read him up. I've got on one of my sites a 5-minute video about Wilhelm Reich that probably tells you all you need to know. But he was very much kind of back in the 20s looking at literally layers like we are, and studying them to the point that he got some extraordinarily interesting results. But we won't go into those now because they might come back as a later point. And if they do, we'll be blowing up the entire of Tutbury. But that's okay, isn't it? Essentially, we decided to try and find a good source of EMF. Let's go for it. Let's pump EMF at it. We know that we're picking up EMF. If we pump EMF at it, will it just stay the same? So, or will it improve? Will it increase? Will it build up? And what have you got there, Al?
Bluetooth speaker, just a standard. This is actually not the one we used. I used a more powerful one, but this one I picked up for like 15 quid in Aldi.
You can buy these. They're basically EMF things, but we found that they give off so little EMF that even on a natural kind of cycle with those, you maybe get a kind of flicker on the machine. So we had to find something that was fairly powerful, really. And we thought, right, okay, we'll bung this high power speaker in front of these crystals and layers and various things and see what happens. And initially, we found that exactly the opposite happened. And this was interesting, that instead of kind of the readings building or staying the same or having the peaks, everything went down to 0, which kind of presented us with a quandary. Are we working with a kind of, again, a self-imposed threat? Are we working with a quantum kind of effect where we're thinking it's going to work and it works, and when we think it doesn't work, it won't work? Or an opposite quantum where you think it's going to work and you hope it's going to work, but it doesn't, but because do you know what I mean? We end up in this kind of strange parallel universe of what's kind of going on, basically. And then I guess what we thought was, well, maybe the crystals themselves are actually blocking or absorbing that energy. Maybe that's what's going on. That's EMF stuff is going into them. So we tried another experiment. So we'll play. We did lots of experiments, but this is pretty much the last in that sequence. If you play the last video on there, I'm going to mute it. We can all mute while we play it as well.
Yeah.
It is going to be directional. Electromagnetic waves. It's going to
Yeah, north-south. Take the speaker away totally, but leave everything running. Now what happens?
Now we're down at 0.4, 0.5. Coming up to 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. Oh, down 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. I feel like a racing commentator. Yeah, no, we're definitely dropping now. Now we're down at 0.1s, 0.2s, etc. And of course, bugger all from the other three. 0.3, 0.2, 0.3, yeah, and back to 0. Oh, down to 0. That's interesting. It dropped. We were getting 0.4s, 0.3s, 0.2s, and that has dropped. That is now 0.1, 0.2, and 0.
So I don't know if you picked that up. It's very hard to see because we couldn't stand and just film over the equipment to watch. But essentially, I'll put something into the mix. What we find with our devices is when we turn them on, I don't know if you saw that, they have a little bit of a fluctuate. And it's quite a quick fluctuate. Boom, 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 and it's done. Now, these were already turned on, so they were already monitoring, and all we had was like a speaker. We decided that it had to be directional. It had to hit into the crystals and hit into the layers and everything. But then you literally just moved the speaker out of the process. And that's where we essentially, as you saw, we got the peak, and then we got the really kind of basically.
Something to note as well is what we were playing on the Bluetooth speaker were basically solfeggio frequencies. I don't know if you've heard of those. They're certain like healing type, etc. frequencies, and we were playing the 852 hertz one, which gives a really nice steady but constant tone, and so rather than, because if you try playing music, it just really doesn't work at all. To try and give you this nice steady reading, but we find using those, they worked quite well in the kitchen.
in the kitchen. So a couple of weeks later, we decided, we'll try these again. We want to go further. We want to, find out a little bit more about what's going on. We want to do our next set of experiments.
Well, that's cool, yeah. So, hang on, I'm just finishing.
Is anyone still in there?
Yes.
Or is it just me?
No, it's just you.
Okay, so I'm going to speak.
Beth is here from, I don't know whether you can see it. Let me see if I can add them onto the screen. Show. There you go. So, oh, well, it was on there. There you go. Can you, if that's a message.
There we go. Who disappeared? Did I disappear? Did you all disappear?
I don't know. I don't know. Didn't think anybody disappeared, but our voices disappeared.
Oh, right. I just had a black screen. Anyway, yes. We want to find out a bit more. Let's go from baseline upwards. Let's see whether we can find there's direction, whether we can charge them and get more readings. So we reconvened a couple of weeks later in Al's conservatory, and that was a seamless pass, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry. I was reading Beth's comment on the bottom where she was saying.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, Beth's got a comment there. I thought you wanted to, you would like to.
Oh, I can't see. Comments. Oh, I had this problem last time.
It says super interesting chat, former paranormal investigator here, and you lot are spot on via the EMF meters. And Al looks really good in that red tartan jacket he was wearing because the kitchen was freezing. Oh, no,
excellent. Who's wearing a red tartan jacket?
I was at the start of the video, if you remember.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, cold kitchen syndrome. So I'm going to just, we can all do tartan.
Hey!
So, yes, we
beat my Summer Isle sweat t-shirt, though.
Nice.
You know the Wicker Man?
Mine just says that we're all mad.
Oh, Cheshire Cat. Is it? Oh, looks like. Sorry, okay. T-shirt appreciation.
We reconvened into Al's conservatory, and Al will take the story from here.
Right, so I thought, okay, I'm really going to get on this now. So I got a wooden table with a glass top. So I'm thinking that's got to be the most unreactive electrically, I can possibly get. Right? Then I got the Bluetooth speaker out, started playing a solfeggio speaker, tunes on it. I got all the equipment lined up. Was thinking, right, before I put anything there, I'll make sure I can get something working. So I put everything right next to the Bluetooth speaker. Yep, I got a reaction from it. What I would do, because it's the EMF source, it's it's almost impossible not to get a reaction. So I pulled everything back. I thought, right, I'll start. Not something there, mate. The big crystals, the one big crystal. Yeah, I'll start putting all that. Just forget that. So all of those individually in front. Nothing happened. Exactly the same readings as there were before. So it was just flickering a little bit because I was about that far away. Could I get anything to work? No. Absolutely nothing worked. It was all just showing as zero. Well, not zero. It was showing the background I expected. And then if you moved the detectors up towards the Bluetooth speaker, it increased and increased. And then I was piling everything on top, desperately trying to get some sort of difference. But I couldn't get a difference in anything at all. So in this case, okay, what do we do now? Obviously we've proved the way the EMF stuff affects the instruments. Off the crystals or the orgon thingy, or the layering. So that's what we need to think about deeply and seriously. What do we do to get these to work? Is it, we even had a compass and we tried aligning things north-south, east-west, tried turning the crystals that were straight on with the meter directly behind it, then we turn it that way, then we turn it that way. Nothing. Oh, in fact, I forgot to tell. Sorry, Steve, I forgot to tell you. I put my a big amplifier in there, and of course, when we put the EMF stuff near it, it just went off the scale. It was a large amplifier. I put these in front of the amplifier when it was switched on for something. Something's just crawled over your camera. Is it a
A little
ladybird?
bug or something, is it? Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Hello, Mr. Bug. Fantastic.
Right, okay, I think everybody wants a ladybird now.
It's the
See,
spirit.
can we all have one?
It's a spirit.
That's derailed my train of thought. So I put these in front of the amplifier, so right as in next to it, and just let them sit there for like a full, well, it was the next day, so it'd be like 18, 19 hours, just to see they've got the EMF thing, right? Thank you. Yeah, flowing into the crystal. Has it done anything? So of course I left it there, put this in front of, because this is one of the most sensitive ones we've got. Put that in front of it. Yep, it's going haywire. All sorts of alarms going off because the amplifier's plugged in. Switch the amplifier off. It just went all the way down to 0. And then I took this and I put it in the sunlight. Checked it again. That way, checked it again. So I don't think, from what we found out, crystals seem to be storing. We wanted it to store energy, electromagnetic energy. That's what we really wanted it to do, but they don't. So they do something else, and this is what we need to find out. What do these things do? How can we put it in some form of alignment? Because of course we know it works with electricity. That's what an LCD display is. Liquid crystal display. You just align them so that they go from being opaque to non-opaque just by flipping them backwards and forwards. So why can't we do something else?
Okay, we've got hello, Mr. Bug. We've got a few messages from Beth. I need to.
Hello, I'm going to respond to Beth now, because this wasn't in this set of experiments, but as I say, we've done tabletop experiments, we've taken experiments out, and one of the things that we noticed was that water was one of the components. If ever you go to a sacred site, whether you're looking at a mound, whether you're looking at a stone circle, wherever, you will find a water source very, very, very close by. Whether it's a river, or more importantly, they'll pop springs in and all kinds of things like that. So, as I say, we create these mini experiments to try and replicate the landscape. And we're working with, like I say, dowsing. Essentially, we're sensing. And in one of the experiments, I've tried creating sacred space by adding in things that are dimensionally the same as, say, a cathedral or a stone circle or whatever, to see how, we sense the difference. At the moment, we can't take the old measures out. But anyway, one of the things that I've brought into this experiment, and a number of times, is water, because we see the water, and we've had a little glass. Go away, ladybug. Look, oh, I've killed it. No, I haven't. I'm lying.
No.
The star of the show has now retired. What we did find in several instances was, stop it now, I'm being serious.
Killed the ladybird.
I killed it live on chat. Yeah, it is. Look, I'll get it back in a minute so you can see it's alive. So what we found was a very strange thing, that with the glasses of water, several people found that they got little bubbles of oxygen all around the outside of the glass. Yeah. So whatever was kicking off with the experiment was kicking off into the water itself. You can try this at home. Not everyone found it, and I like that, because it means that it's slightly anomalous, but it's also, and then we have to drink the water just to make sure it's oxidized. But it kind of shows that something's kicking off. So running water, we haven't included, but we've used static water, and that's certainly part of, and as Al said right near the very beginning, the fact that Silbury Hill, for example, floods regularly is an important thing. The fact that if you go up to various sites and find springs, that's an important thing. It's part of this electric circuit. What we want to do is find ways to measure it, not dowse it. That's not that we don't believe in dowsing, we 100% do. We want to find ways that we can measure, that we can empirically, get kind of results on. And that's kind of the weird place we're stuck on, because most people who do the measurements get the beep, 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 because the measuring devices are responding to the recording devices and think they've got the result.
It'd be really cool if you got underneath the waterfall. I know there's ones in Wales and stuff, isn't there? That you could go behind. I'm wondering what would happen if you went there and you know, had a go.
Oh, that would be excellent.
Yeah, it would. I think that would be really cool.
So that's kind of where we're at, really. We found, as we say, that there's a human component. We found that there does seem to be something going on when we're introducing layers and crystals and things, but we can't necessarily, at this second, guarantee exactly what it is, because we're getting sporadic results. We know that, like I say, by involving ourselves in the project, in the process, in the experiment, that we're affecting it, and possibly, again, in the way that we kind of think in a kind of quantum sense. We know that there's some kind of directional content, and we certainly know from our previous human involvement experiments that the layers are important, that the water is important, that the number of factors are. We just want to get to a point where we can actually say, whoa. Now, the problem was 2 or 3 weeks ago when you saw our post go past, we'd had all these wonderful kind of responses going, oh, where are we going to go from here? Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, we're there. We're on morning television already. And like I say, last time we went into conservatory, it was almost the opposite.
Yeah.
You just see that little kind of roll of grass go past. So it's one of those, oh, well, back to the drawing board, but it's not totally back to the drawing board. It gives us more of an idea what to look at, I think, doesn't it, Al?
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, the comment Beth's put again about having odd spikes in the Hellfire caves without a phone in the area over the water. Now, of course, this gets even more interesting because the water, for instance, around Silbury Hill will be run off, so it would be fresh, inverted commas, water with a little bit of pollution in it. So it's got very low resistance naturally. You've got cave. The cave water, of course, is going to have all sorts of minerals dissolved in it. It's probably going to be highly saline. So it's going to have, as far as water goes, a high resistance for water. So you think, is that causing the spikes? The fact that you've got all this, you know, all this mineralized stuff in there, is that helping to do the spikes? Or are the currents in there that are causing it?
Yeah.
Somewhere I've got some photographs of the river Styx in the Hellfire Caves. We've been in there a few times. We've done some chanting in there and had it to ourselves as a kind of private. I don't know, Beth, if you noticed, there's lots of kind of numbers and numerals and carvings in there. If you're very clever, you can decode them. I don't know anyone yet apart from me who's decoded them yet, but that's another story. We can do a decoding the Hellfire Caves, because that's really interesting. Anyway, no, the point being, yes, it is quite, you know, stalagmitey, stalactitey kind of, yes, lots of kind of salts and crystalline structures and granite and everything else. And so, absolutely, Al, you know, it's going to be full of lots of stuff that's going to impact on the conductivity or otherwise around that area there. Perhaps we'll go in and do something in there.
Yeah, I've never been to the Hellfire Caves.
Have you not?
Yeah. No.
We'll go in and we'll do a talk and we'll do a decoding the Hellfire Caves video.
Yes, we'll do that. Let's do a live there. That would be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's organise it.
I
don't even know, where are they?
High Wycombe.
Oh. Not even that far away from me. So, yeah.
See, Beth, you should just maybe have chosen to join us, and you could have been on the camera as well. You know, we do invited kind of events where we get people to come and join us for events and try things out, because that's quite important to us. That it's not just me and Al, and it's not me and Al's show, as it were. It's all about getting out and getting people to join in, because they kind of contribute, shall we say, not only to experiments, but also to thoughts about the experiments. When you're in the middle of it, when you're doing it, you can kind of feel what's going on, and you can have a kind of impact and say, oh, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. And that's kind of really good as well. So we've got in our heads some 1 or 2 things that we need to plan out and get out and open up to a few people coming with us to do as well, haven't we?
Yeah, because it's so much better when you've got lots of people. Hand them all detection dowsing rods, and off you go. Or rather,
yeah, we've got.
Let's go and find stuff out.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. That sounds amazing. That I'm up for that. Definitely. Oh, there we go. Ladybug's okay. Hello, Ladybug. Thank goodness for that.
He's only moved though 1 leg since I knocked him off of the camera. 1 little leg went beep, and then he's frozen in there. He's gone back into hibernation probably. But there's another one wandering around somewhere.
So I think where we're going to go from here is an interesting question. Are we going to try another room, or are we going to go back in the kitchen, as it were, to try and do the experiments again and see if we, at least if we can repeat what happened in the kitchen previously? Because of course, the thing with the kitchen, you've got fridge in there, dishwasher stuff. You've got a lot of things kicking out background radiation. Whereas, of course, in the conservatory, we haven't.
And maybe that's important that we are. I mean, when we diss all this kind of haunted house hunting sort of stuff, we're not, because part of the deal is that all of these places that we go into, whether they're a sacred space or a so-called haunted space, they impact. And they do something. And we have some theories as to what they do and how they affect us as humans, and why, therefore, we get particular responses and results in places, which ties into all of our electromagnetic experiments and everything else. So we're quite keen to include the human component. What we're just not keen to include is something that's kind of a sporadic response to the fact that there is a load of EMF kicking off anyway. If you go into anyone's house, if they've got Wi-Fi, if they've got televisions, they've got computers. I've got one down here. Obviously, we're sitting at one. All of these devices are kind of literally kind of filling the air. And maybe they need to. Maybe our conclusion at this second is the conservatory. When everything was switched off, it was empty as far as EMF was concerned. It was a very, very, very low level background, if not nothing. Whereas obviously in the kitchen, there's microwaves, there's ovens, there's all of Al's sound kind of stuff, because he likes to play music all over the house at any opportunity. Yeah, go on.
I'm just asking about the microwave. I wouldn't have thought you would get a reading unless the microwave was actually on.
Yeah, go.
No, it's fixed on. So maybe the fridge would have been, but the microwave maybe not so much. If the just saying. Going around with my professional EMF meter. Yeah.
We love
anyway.
I love Timu.
Oh yes.
What's your next tattoo going to be, Al?
I'm not sure now. I'm not sure.
Is it just going to be Timu across your forehead? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, yeah.
I love a bit of Timu.
I love Jane. I love Mary or something. I love Timu. Yeah. And we'll come back and we'll say, so Al, who's Emmett? And how do you know her?
Is that Timu backwards?
It is, yes. That's what we're
put up with.
I don't know if you can see that. They said, love that you mentioned, I can't read it, sorry. The screen's so small. Riek as well.
Yeah,
the book in defense of Willem Reich is amazing. Agree 100% re-EMF discussion, as it really muddies the water. High EMF can make people feel very ill and odd.
We one of our dowsing friends basically spends a lot of time going into people's houses and checking out all the EMF and everything else, and kind of saying, well, you need to switch that off, you need to turn that off, and then you'll feel a lot better. So yes, the health aspect is interesting, and like I say, you know, the so-called haunted aspect of it is very interesting as well. Is the house in, you know, has it got 10 tons of EMF running, or is it part of a natural kind of sacred site that's got EMF kind of lines which we're looking at as part of our research, the natural kind of stuff that's out there essentially, i.e. what makes a site sacred, what makes it special, is it all part of that as well? So yes, I've got a load of Wilhelm Reich stuff somewhere, Journey of the White Dove and things like that, so very interesting.
Okay, so
yeah,
I think
there we go.
We'll conclude that there. That's amazing. Thank you so much for the talk. It's really fascinating every time, as always. Very fascinating. Thank you, Al, for joining us.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you, and hope to see you again. Yes. So, can you send me a link to your websites and things that you want to throw onto the? I can put them in the descriptions.
Yes.
And I'll do that tomorrow morning, and I'll just add it into the description on this particular live chat if anybody's interested. And yes, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to more stuff from you both.
Right, yes, we'll come back when we've figured it out.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I'll be very excited for that one. Yeah, very exciting. And if you go into the waterfalls, I'm coming.
Definitely.
We'll put a link out there and tell everyone where we're going, and then yes, if people want to join us for a day, we'll.
I know there's a cool one in Wales because there's the karate school that I used to be in. They do it in January, and they go under the waterfall and they do all their katas and punching and underneath the waterfall, in the waterfall. It's crazy
Pistol
people.
Rider or something like that. Pistol Rider Falls.
I don't know where it is, but it looks amazing. It's a really cool waterfall, and I'm pretty sure you can get behind there, and I don't know how you would do it, but we'll have to give it a go, and when it's hot, preferably. Not in January. Okay, right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll speak to you again very soon on the Monthly Mystical. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, well, I'm going to remove you from the stage. Thank you. Bye for now. Well, wasn't that amazing? That was so cool. Yeah, there we go. Right. Oh, well, that was a close call because it was so difficult to do this on my little. I'm doing it on my Kindle, which is pretty crazy. My laptop has just decided just to give up altogether. So I've hopefully got another one coming soon. Definitely by the next Monthly Mystical. I hope you enjoyed that this evening. That was really, really fascinating. I love it when I see Steve. He just makes me laugh so much. And the ladybug is okay. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. Please do like, subscribe, share, fling it everywhere. We'll put some links in the description for all the bits and pieces we've been chatting about, what we can, and pop over to my website, have a look, see if there's anything you fancy. Don't forget, I've got a magical learning lab if you want to learn some really cool stuff about magic. And that's about it. And I shall see you all next time on the Monthly Mystical. Love and light to you all. All right, see you all soon. Bye for now. Bye. Oh, that one. Oh, hello. You're not supposed to did a die on me. What the fuck? Wow. Okay. Where have you gone? Steve, let's get you back up. Add to the stage. Whoa,
Hello.
no, what's it doing? No. Oh, just removed you.
Now it says at the top live 104.53 and it's still counting. Have you switched off the live?
I did.